guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is the Batman Triumphant,
most triumphant Batman, with Joel Schumacher coming in with the nipples hard. What would happen if Batman and Robin had been a giant success, and then afterwards they had greenlit, which they did before the movie was even released, something called Batman Triumphant, which would return the beloved and one of the greatest, maybe the best Batman ever, George Clooney.
That's right.
Along with his well-to-do partner, Chris O'Donnell.
It's a lie.
With his nipples as well.
It's
fighting against a Harley Quinn and a Scarecrow. Well, guess what? There was a script for that. We're going to talk about that right now.
So, by the way, some people say it was going to be called Batman Triumphant. There's a whole group of people that also say it was going to be called Batman Unchained. I shaved. Oh. I trimmed. Oh. And thank you so much to our Patreon, Jordan Cruz.
Thanks, man.
Amazing dude for sending us this script to talk about. And yeah, like Jay said, they greenlit this shit before Batman and Robin released.
It's going to be so good.
Shit.
By the way, the toy sales are through the fucking roof.
That's great. All we need. But it's very interesting to note, though, that Joel Schumacher was going to do the movie, but he needed a break after Batman and Robin, after filming it. He wanted to do 3 of his little films or whatever first, and he was going to bring back George Clooney. He was going to bring back Christopher O'Donnell. It was going to feature Harley Quinn, but this is not the Harley Quinn that we know at all. Mm-hmm. They were talking about casting either Madonna or Courtney Love. So
what you're gonna get is that takes a bath in like milk and tells you how you should live your life, or you're gonna take one that smells like and looks like chlamydia and kill Kurt Cobain. I mean, both villains. I mean, good choice.
Honest to God, Courtney Love, she did murder her husband. So.
She did. You know what? I think that, you know what? Madonna might have rocked that shit, though. She might have rocked that shit. I'm going to tell you this, but the only thing I didn't like about this specifically, Jonathan Crane, Scarecrow, as one of the other main villains of it, he was all right. He was written pretty decently. I didn't mind him too much. They actually... looks like they were approaching Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been just right. Yeah. I think the craziness that he would have brought to that chip's like, it's in your mind. Like he would have done some fucked up things. I think he would have worked. The thing about Harley Quinn I didn't like was that, okay, it takes place 10 years before Joker dies, right? At the very beginning of the script, it's 10 years... It's 89, okay? Batman is fighting Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker. Harley Quinn, her backstory is completely different. She's not a psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum that treats the Joker. She's just a, a high-flying clown in a circus that also performs along with Dick Grayson and the Flying Graysons. I don't like that. I didn't like that. And she's obsessed and in love with the Joker, and she kisses him while puts the picture of him in her vagina.
Now, she's never met the Joker. She's just obsessed with him, and she's fascinated by him.
And she's a young kid and whatever, and they're playing on that. I just didn't like that they shook up the background story too much, and I know why he did that for. It was because obviously Tim Burton and Edward Scissorhands murdered the Joker, which I never understood at all in '89 Batman, but he did. So they had to do something with it. So we can't do Harley Quinn like the regular. No. I didn't like that, but the character, the way that Harley Quinn was played out, I think that they had a pretty good beat on her.
It wasn't the worst, but that's how the whole thing starts. Is basically Harley Quinn is obsessed with the Joker. She goes in the back dressing room and she's got pictures of Jack Nicholson's Joker everywhere, and then she goes out into the street and she sees on a newsstand that he's dead, and she vows to kill Batman for killing the guy that she never met but was in love with.
Kind of like how me and Mike have complete wallpaper to wallpaper posters of Mel Gibson in our bathroom.
Exactly. If someone killed Mel Gibson or Brett Favre or Mark Hoppus, I'm coming for you.
You're fucking dead.
So I understand it. It also does fit in with Harley Quinn's craziness that she would go that hard about it. But that's again, I read this whole thing picturing Courtney Love, and it's just fucking.
You know what's
weird.
Crazy is if you know what I did was I put it on. I put on the Hans Zimmer Batman Begins soundtrack and looped it. Yeah. And read the script. It works pretty goddamn well. It's not bad. I did put on the Tim Burton. I always love the Danny Elfman score at the very end of the movie. It's like bum bum when he's standing on the fucking on the tower. Yeah. I think that's one of the best Danny Elfman scores ever. I tried that. It just doesn't work for the script. The Hans Zimmer ones works perfectly. I will say though, I did think it was really cool. I thought it was fucking awesome actually. When I was reading it, they introduced Tim Drake. Which was fucking awesome, dude, because that's going to be future Robin after, Dick Grayson, leaves the mantle of Robin. Because Tim Drake is at the performance of the Flying Graysons, which is in Metropolis, which is also awesome. Because now you're mentioning Metropolis. It's in the city of Metropolis, so now you have a connective universe with Superman. I thought all that was awesome. And I really could feel that Schumacher was trying his best to tie all this this stuff together. He was doing his best to make. I was like, we're trying to do a shared universe before the shared universes were popular.
Now he didn't write the script. He was just going to direct.
No, but he was doing. He kept it in. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't have kept it in, but either way, it was cool in that Tim Drake was in the fucking script.
Yeah, and they did do that well. And there's some other surprises in the script that tie into the Batman universe. But and I know what everybody's thinking. It's like, wait, but they brought back George Clooney. They brought back Chris O'Donnell. This is going to be the same Batman and Robin shit. But what Joel Schumacher said was when he approached Nicolas Cage to play the Scarecrow, which is a stroke of genius, and I think that they wrote that with Nicolas Cage in mind because there's certain points where the Scarecrow goes crazy, like he just goes off the wall, and I could so picture Nicolas Cage. And I think Nicolas Cage being having such an affinity for the comic book world, I think he would have done it. So I think we really would have had, if this movie had come to light, Nick Cage as the Scarecrow. And Schumacher said, he said, I did Batman Forever, and everybody was clamoring, I want a movie I could take my kids to.
Right.
So he's like, I made Batman and Robin. He was like, but when I come back to do this movie, I want to make this for the hardcore Batman fans. He's like, I want this to be very dark. I want Batman to go through some stuff. This will be a completely different movie. So it may not have been a Batman and Robin feel to it, even though it would have had mostly the same actors in it. Now, Alicia Silverstone was not in there. She'd gone off and done her own thing. But
Clueless Part 6.
Clooney, Alfred, Robin, but it doesn't read with all the fantastical type of shit you would have gotten in a Batman and Robin movie.
Yeah. Well, the thing about George Clooney is, and again, I've always said this, George Clooney was a terrible Batman, absolutely. One of the fucking worst. Maybe the worst Batman ever.
Considering his situation.
Yeah, but I think that George Clooney is such an incredible actor, and if they had a really good script and the studio hadn't had their big, fat, dirty old man dicks in that fucking stew, they could have had maybe one of the best Batmans to ever exist. Have you seen Dusk Till Dawn? Do you know how sexy that man is with a fucking tribal tattoo on his neck?
He can be cool.
But anyway, I think it would have been really great, and I think this was maybe Schumacher's way of like doing a like maybe I'm sorry kind of movie with George Clooney at the helm and be like, listen, George, I'm sorry, I'm going to make you look cool again, Steven. But I
wanted that myself. I was like, would George Clooney even come back to do another Batman? I don't know.
I think he would have come back if Schumacher was on board and got greenlit anyway. But here's the thing. There were times when I was reading the script that stupid shitty banner was still there. Robin was nagging on Batman about something, and then Batman responds like, nag, nag, nag. I was like, Batman would never say that shit. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Because Batman would just say nothing into the intercom and be like, Alfred, clean out Robin's locker. Like, he wouldn't say, he's focused on the mission. He just doesn't have time for the banter.
Yeah.
But, other than that.
There are points, though, when Batman does get dark, though. And they almost go death of the family with this a couple times. Yeah. And there's a huge surprise. Big surprise. Huge surprise. That I'll mention here in a second. But while they're chasing after the Scarecrow and all this stuff's going on, and he has this big, typical Batman villain plan to inflict fear on everybody, a lot like kind of the Batman Begins plot with Ra's al Ghul. That's his whole plan. But Robin keeps not listening to Batman, and he goes up against the force. He gets his ass kicked. He gets
Cornelius Stirk.
Yes, Stirk fucks his shirt up.
Stirk fucks him.
But he electrocutes Robin and hurts him real bad. And then Batman comes and picks up Robin, and he's carrying him out to the car, and the news is there, and Commissioner Gordon comes out, and he's like, is Robin dead? And Batman's like, for all intents and purposes, yes. Because in his mind, he was like,
the boy that Robin was is gone.
Yeah, he's going to get hurt, and I'm never letting him walk the streets again. Now, it's a cool idea because they do tie into the Batman, to the death in the family thing at first, but then you go right back to the same thing. It's literally the same scene from Batman Forever when he's on his bike. He's like, I'm leaving. If you won't let me be Robin, I'm done. And then he goes out and he sleeps in the streets and all this stuff.
Yeah, like he leaves the mansion and he goes sleeps in Crime Alley and then whoops up some bums' asses.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you got to take out your anger one way or another. So let me go whoop up on some fucking muggers and bums.
Exactly.
But the weird thing about it is like they also focus in on like I don't know, maybe Harley Quinn and Chris O'Donnell's Robin having some kind of a relationship, which again I think is fucking stupid. I'm glad that they kind of back off of that. They backpedal in the script after it seems like they have some kind of chemistry.
Yeah, one day Robin walks in, he's like, I met a girl.
Yeah, there is even one scene where Robin takes her to the Galleria. I was like, you better fucking not. You better get your shit straight, Robin, because that girl's crazy as fuck. She killed Kurt Cobain. But no, yeah, I didn't like that at all. I do like that they explore more of a psychological damage that Batman suffered, because there's a lot more references to Crime Alley and even Joker. The fact that he, did drop Joker to his death. That's mentioned about Penguin. So it was tying in the Burton films too, which I thought was cool. And then you also see a true rift start forming between Robin and Batman, which I like because at this point, Batman and Robin have been fighting crime for a few years. Robin is like feeling like he's kind of constricted. Like, hey man, I'm doing my thing. I don't know why. Why you always
peacock? You gotta let me fly.
Why you always cramping on my style, dog? Like, stop. And then even Alfred even's like, he's like, well, you were an obsessed young man too. And he's like, shut up, Alfred. Go fucking make me some cookies. Like, but basically, Robin is saying like, listen, man, I'm vengeful. I want to go out. I'm a vigilante like you. I'm a crime fighter, and yeah, I see a problem and I want to solve it, just like Batman was. But Batman, because of the past guilt, I guess because of his failures, he starts seeing Robin as, like you mentioned, an innocent. So he wants to prevent that from happening. Yeah. So therefore, states to the press in a way that Robin is dead. And when Robin finds out that holy shit, there was Robin dropping, there was bird droppings everywhere. He was mad, and then he leaves the mansion. But here's the thing. I think the script overall was a good script. My problem with it, my overall fear with it was that while it was a good script, and I'm sure it would have gone through a couple of rewrites and things like that, because the studio was so butt-fuckingly involved with selling toys and bullshit like that, I don't know how much of that dark script that Schumacher had in mind would have got to the screen. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just kept getting images of the bullshit Batman and Robin, really cringy dialogue and the scenes and the setups. And then you not only now you ruined Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy and Bane. Now you're going to ruin Scarecrow and Harley Quinn. It's just like fuck.
And even though he said it was going to be darker, you have to imagine like it's still going to have this fantastical Schumacher backdrop, like Batman Forever type thing.
Did you notice that one of the doctors was called Dr. Burton?
Yeah,
that was pretty cool, man. He gave some tributes.
But it was going to feel more. It was going to feel more Batman Forever. It wasn't going to be a complete redone dark thing. It still has this fantastical feel to it. It was going to be more Batman Forever than Batman and Robin, but there are some dark things in the movie, like the mayor when he kidnaps the mayor. When Scarecrow, and again it's played by Nick Cage, so you read it as Nick Cage, and he has some awesome scenes in there. Like at one point, like he throws like a bomb remote control through a TV, and he's like woo-ah! And they literally says woo-ah! And he goes he puts basically like the same exact thing that Jim Carrey had in Batman Forever on these students, and he hypnotizes a bunch of students to be his minions and to go out and do his dark bidding for him. And that's even his war cry to them when he wants them to do something. He's like, whoa! Well, I like to just picture Nick Cage as like face-off villain Nick Cage, like going crazy with all these long dialogue sequences with Batman, and that was probably the best part of the script. Well, imagine that.
There was also some apparently like some gnarly violence in it. Like at one point, one of the, after he hypnotizes the students, he orders one student to kill the student sitting next to him, and the student kind of hesitates, like, do it now, your God demands! And he shoots him, and he drops dead. And then there's one scene where they're kidnapping the mayor, the secrets, or the service agent or whatever to the mayor, the security, gets shot in the fucking head. Like, I don't know how much they were going to show, but it was violent. It was way more violent and over the top than Batman and Robin, and even in some ways, I think Batman Forever. Like, he really was trying to show a darker element to the city and what was going on. Plus, another main thing, which I think that Joel Schumacher always wanted to do, and I think that he always felt like it was a character that he didn't get to explore because of assholes upstairs, was Arkham Asylum became a main focal point. Like, it became a character in the story, just like he wanted to do in the Schumacher cut when you saw Arkham Asylum. And I think he really was fascinated by Arkham Asylum and wanted to get in there and really dig his teeth into it. But nonetheless, I do, toward the end of the script, you also get, which I do think is fucking cool, man. When Batman and Robin make up, Batman says, okay, you're going to go your own way. And there's kind of a repeat performance of Batman Forever where they shake hands with like partners. He becomes Nightwing. Yeah. And I was like, fuck,
and
dude.
It's full on Nightwing too. Like, Batman basically explains to him, he's like, you know what, I was wrong. You're no less innocent than I am. I need to let you be you, and if you want to go do your own thing, I'll let you do your own thing. I'll even get you an apartment, but we need to change your name, we need to change who you are. And he asks Alfred to go back and make the suit for him, and it's a dark blue suit, and it's coming.
And the Red Robin, which his motorcycle's been changed to represent that. It's fucking amazing.
And it's literally the birth of Nightwing, and that's really dope. That's really badass.
And you'd also got introduced to Tim Drake, so Tim Drake was going to show up or pop up at some point as the new Robin. Dude, it was setting up the Bat family, which was going to be awesome at some point, I think, if they had done it right. But let's see, when they were talking to me, he's like, when he was talking about, I was like, you can do it on your own. It literally did remind me of Batman Forever. It was like, I can't promise I won't kill Two-Face. Man's got to go his own way, because a friend taught me that. Not just a friend, a partner. And then you have a zoom in on their hands going.
Yeah, I can see the same shit.
I do. But I even love the suit up scene. Because it says that Robin goes to the Robin vault. Yeah. Because Robin has his own vault, and that when he starts changing in to the suit, and you get that. I'm sure you're gonna get that classic Schumacher zoom in on, like, you're gonna see the dark purple with the blues and shit. It's gonna be a what the fuck? Yeah. And then he walks out, because even before that though, it's also, he shows, you know, Alfred and Batman had been working on a new costume for him, and then he's like, why don't you lose the cape and everything else is good. Yeah. Dude, man, that would have been really so cool. Fucking cool to see.
It's really cool. And then the penultimate scene, the final scene, as all this shit's going down, and they all meet up in the end, and Robin is full on Nightwing, and he goes to chase after Harley Quinn, and they have their whole fight scene or whatever. Batman has his fight scene with Scarecrow, and Batman lets Scarecrow die, which is a little bit darker for what's going on.
Why won't you just die?
And again, so you got Scarecrow, and this one he has a skull that he literally squeezes and it shoots out the juices. And,
it's not like, I swear to God, when they described it, it reminded me of something that you would get on the bottom of a Frosted Flake, and you could fill it up with water and
go. But when Batman gets the juices in his face, Batman what he sees obviously a thing about the Joker killing his parents. And again, the Joker's in the background this entire time. Harley Quinn won't shut up about him. And again, that's kind of stupid, but Harley Quinn's kind of wild anyway, so you can make that make sense. But eventually, basically, Robin just like apprehends her, and then
she kind of gives up.
Batman's one-on-one with Scarecrow, and then he fucks up Scarecrow, and then he shoots the juices into Scarecrow's face. The wind from Scarecrow's juices hits him, and then Scarecrow goes crazy, and what he sees, which would have been a cool scene, he sees a bunch of crows coming after him, and then his body turns into straw. Yeah. He's basically the same thing as Batman. His biggest fear is himself, almost, in a way. And he starts tripping off a ledge, and Batman just lets him fucking fall.
He's like, bitch, you made me relive some of the tragic moments of my life.
Die! And then Scarecrow falls through Arkham Asylum and is dead. They put Harley Quinn in jail, and it's kind of weird. What I read about this script that didn't actually exist in the script was two things. One thing I read the script was supposed to have is that there was supposed to be a scene where Batman got hit with the gas, and then they were supposed to bring back Danny DeVito as Penguin.
Oh, dude, I read that too. Dude, they're gonna bring them all back.
Yeah, they were Two-Face, Jim Carrey. They were in some way supposed to bring them all back while Batman's under the influence of Scarecrow's hot juices. Meat sandwich. God, and he was supposed to see all that shit. That's not in there. And another thing that was supposed to be in there was Harley Quinn was apparently supposed to find out that Joker was her father.
That's stupid.
And I kept waiting on that. And that's why she was so obsessed with him, because it turns out he was her dad. I kept waiting on that, but eventually Batman's talking to Nightwing in the end, and everything's settled, everything's done, and he's like, what's going to happen to Harley Quinn? And he's like, don't you worry about that. I sent her a little something.
I love that scene. He sent her the fucking Joker's goddamn old coat. Like
yeah, the purple coat. Jacket.
That was cool as fuck.
And she like hugs it, and that's the end of the script.
But the end of the movie, though, is very much representative of Tim Burton's end of Batman '89. What you see is Robin, now Nightwing, zooming down the streets. He looks up, he sees the bat signal, but he's dressed as Nightwing. He smiles a little bit, and then the camera pans up, and Batman's standing on the rooftop like he was in Batman '89. Yeah. That music, I'm sure, would be swelling. That's the fucking way you end it. But yeah, dude, it would have been cool. I'd be a little bit afraid that the studio would have ruined it, but I think there was a lot of things in it that was promising. I think that they would have probably revised it down. I don't know, but I would say that the original idea for that, having all the villains show up.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. That would have, because the ultimate villain at the end of that hallucination would be Jack Nicholson as the Joker showing up to torment him one more time.
I do think though that there was no way in fuck they were ever going to get those high caliber actors to come back. So what would it end up?
It was too much money. Yeah.
All they would have done is use previous scenes, and Batman would be like, oh.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think about it. You know, the script for Batman is probably already like huge anyway. I mean, you're going to be like, well, we need to bring back Jim Carrey, Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, Tommy Lee Jones. They're like, are you fucking stoned? Like, that's gonna be $50 million. Like, it would be insane.
Get Jeff Bezos on the phone. He doesn't even exist yet.
The only one that might have come back, because I think he did have a good time with it, was Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey, you probably get him cheap. Yeah. Maybe Danny DeVito too.
But they probably would just use stored footage. But I will say, dude, I think at the end of the day, would I have wanted this rather than Batman Begins? No, fuck no. Because even though the only thing that, and I'll be honest with you, the only reason I really would want to see this script that really would have carried it over the top and been, I think it would have been better than Batman and Robin. I think it would have been about Batman Forever level. Yeah. The only thing I really feel in my chachkas that we missed out on was seeing Nick Cage play Scarecrow, and the way that they wrote him, that would have been fucking amazing. The rest of it was more of the same Schumacher type stuff. Honestly,
I also think that it would have been nice to see Schumacher get to do a little bit more with his own creative juices flowing versus like, let me sell some goddamn toys, and parents that can take their kid with a PTA meeting to watch this movie.
It could have been the best Schumacher.
I think Schumacher, yeah, and you know, that would have given him 3 movies. And I think that Schumacher would have honestly redeemed himself in a lot of fans' eyes if this movie had gone through. And I would if this movie had gone through and that had been it for Schumacher, and then Batman Begins, I don't know why we couldn't have had both.
Yeah.
But
and what if George Clooney rocked the shit out of it?
I think he could have. I think this script would have been perfect for him. I think that was going, that they were going to focus more in on a psychological type of damaged Batman and a rift forming between him and Robin, and having to come to grips with who he was. I think George Clooney would have killed that.
One scene in specifically that I really liked a lot is when Robin gets really hurt for the first time, and Batman's clearly affected by it.
Yeah.
Batman goes back to the Bat Lair, and he's running his stuff through his system, and he's been up for days or whatever, and he's been trying to find Robin and figure out what's going on. And Batman literally hits enter on the computer to download the final file, and like takes off his cowl and just passes out.
Yeah.
And the cowl drops to the floor, and Robin's in the mansion, but he's hurt, and Batman wakes up and he's like, it's noon. Like, what? I think there was a little bit of stuff there that George Clooney really could have rocked. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I still don't know. Once you saw the world on screen, if they continued to do this hokey fucking world that they kind of did in Forever and Batman and Robin, it really doesn't matter how dark the script is. It still would have felt the same.
Yep.
But I think it had a chance to be the best of the Schumacher 3. Definitely, I think things worked out the way they were supposed to.
At the end of the day, do yourself a favor if you're a Bat fan, if you're a Schumacher fan, or if you just want to see a little weird what-if kind of scenario, read the script. I mean, it's out there floating around. You guys could definitely read it. It's worth the read. It's not bad. It's not terrible.
It's an easy read.
It's not good. I mean, this motherfucker wasn't going to wear in like Oscars and be like, you know, cried over at Academy Awards show.
It's like 3 or 4 big set pieces. You can really feel like a Schumacher touch.
But I feel like he even said, I think it was in an article, he wanted a lower budgeted Batman movie.
That's true.
And I think he said that. And so that movie would have been lower budgeted. But I think the reason why is because he would have been able to focus more on the psychological type of Batman.
But again, he said that, but we both read it. I don't think they really went that deep. I mean, they didn't go that deep.
It wasn't like fucking Memento or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, it was like surface level bullshit. But at the same time, it was better than. I think it would have been better than Batman Forever, Batman and Robin combined.
Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe
think so.
You might be
and then
right,
you could bring Syl back, and he could fucking sing.
We love your fucking faces, Jordan. Thanks for sending this, man. Tell us, would you guys have wanted to see this script down below? Let us know. Love your fucking face. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. Get some goddamn wham up in you. Touch it with the 2-time Timmy.
Feel it.
I am above the law.
And if you don't subscribe, we're gonna be out for justice.
Don't be like the Dawn of the Dead. Be more like
Dawn of the Dead.
The Glimmer Man.
Why'd you steal my shit? I was holding it.
You didn't do it. I gave it to you.
I was getting it.
I laid it up. What am I? Under siege right now?
What am I? Friday the 13th? What am I? Night of the Living Dead?
It's not even a Friday.
Whatever. that actually like delayed scared me.